Hey guys, this is Norman over with SoundTraxx here, and today we're going to talk about function renaming and momentary versus latching functions in the Blunami app. So let's get started. So in front of us here we have this P42, and this locomotive has ditched lights. Now, we've already mentioned previously how you can remap various functions, but in the Blunami app, through this menu, you can also rename functions. So if we go into functions 15 through 28 here, and we turn on FX3, you can see that, in fact, our ditch lights are on. Now this is actually two different function outputs that we've mapped onto the same button. So you can see that this labeling here is no longer accurate. But we don't just have to name it FX3 and FX4. We can actually rename this function completely to ditch lights. Like so. And now, when we close this menu, you can see we have, in fact, ditch lights. And if I turn them on and off, they are the ditch lights. So in this way, we can actually really tailor the function naming to the way you want to run your locomotive. So you can rename it to whatever. And that way, you don't have to remember your function mapping. It's all right there in a list right in front of you. Now, also as part of this menu, we in fact have the ability to set whether a function is latching or momentary. So if I unmute the locomotive here and I blow the air horn, you can see it's only on for as long as I'm holding that button down. Now, for most other functions, by default we have them set up in what is known as a latching behavior. That means that when I press, let's say, the brake button, it's on. But then when I press it again, that's what turns it off. However, in the Blunami app, if I use this little menu on the left here and I turn off that toggle, you can see that brake is now momentary like the horn is. So let's see this in action. Let's go ahead and back up this locomotive real quick. You can see I've already put some momentum in here. And then if I hit the brake, you can see that it's only on for as long as I'm holding the button down. Whereas if I were to go in and make that function latching again, and I take the locomotive forwards, one tap turns the brakes on, and the next turns them off again. Whereas, again, if I turn that toggle off, the brakes are only on as long as I'm holding the button. Like so. Now, where this can also be useful is that some of our effects are what are known as head-end effects, in that they only trigger once on the on state and don't trigger again on the off state. So, for instance, the grade crossing horn you can see does not go again if I turn it off. Same thing with various other functions like the RPM plus or RPM minus. And this can also be a good use for the ability to set a function as momentary or latching. Because if I now set the grade crossing to be momentary, it automatically resets itself every time I use it. Now guys, that's going to be all for today. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions on the Blunami, the Tsunami 2, or any of our other products, be sure to check out the manuals section on our website, SoundTraxx.com. If you have any further questions, be sure to give us an email at support@soundtraxx.com. And be sure to subscribe, like, hit that bell icon so you get notified the next time we upload great tutorials like this.